Let's go.
The Mavs just made their first NBA Finals since Dirk Nowitzki. We can talk about Luka, which I already did in my most recent video. We can talk about Kyrie, which I'll probably be doing soon. But what about the 20-year-old rookie who's completely transformed the dynamic of this roster? Dereck Lively is a rare breed of athlete. Standing 7'1", he's one of the tallest players in the NBA. For reference, he's listed as being taller than guys like Joel Embiid or Mitchell Robinson, has 3 inches on his own teammate Daniel Gafford. Really, the most comparable physical makeup for him is probably Rudy Gobert, but you'd never know it by the way he moves. He's really quick on his feet. Here you can compare his mobility to another 7-footer in Zubac, just leaving him in the dust on a backdoor cut. And not only does he have some agility on the floor, he's very explosive vertically, capable of getting above the rim for some truly impressive finishes.
That boy Dereck Lively is transforming their offense, because before him they didn't really have a young, athletic, you feel me, rim running, tall, big, mobile, big man, you feel me? Like, they had some old players, they had some short players, but they never had somebody with this unique combination of youth, athleticism, and skill, my boy. He coming out there, he guarding people on the perimeter. He going out there, he guarding people in the paint. He out there on the wing and blocking people from the other side of the paint. This boy is creative, gang. He changes everything for Luka. He give him somebody that's young and tall.
This has, of course, turned him into a big-time lob threat. So on a team with Kyrie and Luka, that means lots of easy points. You'll often see him hang around the dunker spot as a vertical spacer, and as long as the ball is thrown anywhere near the rim, there's a pretty good chance he's throwing it down. Here's one where Luka isolates from up top, beats his man off the dribble, and when he lobs it up, George actually thinks it's a floater and tries to box out. Not quite. It isn't as simple as just sitting in one spot and waiting for a pass, though. One thing you really like to see with Lively as a rookie is he's already showing that he knows how to seal off the low man in these spots, making it a much easier catch and finish. And oftentimes, the only way to prevent a 3-2 points after he touches the ball is to send him to the line. In these playoffs, he's attempting just under 6 free throws every 75 possessions, and although he isn't a good free throw shooter by any means, they can bring value, such as putting other bigs in foul trouble, getting his team in the bonus, or maybe even just getting 1 point on the board that otherwise wouldn't be there. There's really only one gripe I have with Lively as a big in the dunker spot, and that's on plays like this, where his man helps on the ball before turning to recover, and there's a little bit of space in between them. Rarely ever will you see him use a power dribble, and that's something that could take his interior scoring to another level. With that said, his game is still incredibly simple. Pretty much every single one of his points is either an assisted layup, dunk, or free throw. No, he's not bringing the versatility of a stretch 5, or a ball-handling initiator, or even a post-up guy who can use the mid-range, but he's incredibly efficient in his role, and it's precisely what the Mavs have needed next to Luka for years. That's because most of their offense starts with spread pick and roll, and who better than a mobile 7-footer with a huge lob radius to maximize that approach. After so many reps, he's also gotten great at recognizing coverages and slipping the screen accordingly, this time sealing off position in the paint and drawing one of those intentional fouls only to finish anyways. You'll oftentimes see him go to set a screen, but instead of making contact...
And that really changes up the offense for Luka and Kyrie, because not only do you got to worry about them on the perimeter, bro, but now you got to worry about somebody actually doing something in the paint. It ain't no more free randies over here. Somebody actually down there doing some work. You feel me? And they actually can boom on you, gang. So now you got to worry about getting embarrassed and put on Sports Center. You hear me? Like, this is a dangerous team right here. I ain't expected, but it's a dangerous team, gang.
He'll just roll into open space early, and from there he can attack out of the short roll. This is really important because both Luka and Kyrie very commonly draw aggressive coverages, so in many ways it's imperative that the roller be capable of maximizing these situations. For a rookie who primarily finishes plays at the rim, the flashes have been awesome. He's not much of an on-ball scorer, but when given space to attack, he'll use his length to create an angle. But even more importantly, if he catches and sees an open shooter, he's quick to move the ball, serving as a sort of connector for the offense. These are very basic and standard passes, but they keep the defense in rotation. This one leaves Washington with a driving lane while Lively hangs around the basket for a lob. However, he is still pretty flawed. For one, he's not always decisive with what he wants to do, and that can lead to some awkward possessions like this offensive foul. The bigger problem, though, is that he can't always take advantage of mismatches. When two go to Kyrie and Isaiah Joe picks up Lively on the block, that should either be a bucket or free throws every single time. Yeah. The drawback of being such a fluid and explosive 7-footer is that he doesn't have the sturdiest frame, which I think hurts him in these spots, as he can't be as forceful as you'd like. Although with a few off seasons, I definitely expect both his balance and lower body strength to improve, and I'm curious to see how he can incorporate this jump hook into his game a bit more. For the most part, he doesn't really have much of a post game though, and that's why he sort of relies on those elite ball handlers to create opportunities for him. But the key is that if he can get really good at extending advantages off of those guys through the short roll, defenses really won't have an answer for that pick and roll game, not that they do anyways. In general, I think Lively's got a decent bit to offer as a passer. Every now and then they'll have him set up action from the high post, and while that usually means a dribble handoff, he can make some finds. I also like that he's a quick decision maker, especially in the middle of the floor. He's always looking to move the ball, this time on a give and go with Luka. And that's turned him into a pretty decent connector, just making the right reads to take advantage of a rotating defense. And on this one, Exum misses the three, but he's right there for an offensive rebound. Speaking of which, that's another way for him to bring value on offense. In the playoffs, he's averaging about 4.5 offensive rebounds every 75 possessions, a mark that would put him near the very top of the league. It's the size, it's the verticality, it's his positioning, and second chance opportunities have become more and more of a focus for offenses looking to gain an edge in such an efficient era of basketball. If you remember, this is how he took over the fourth quarter of that closeout Game 6 against OKC. When Chet helps on a drive, nobody's in position to stop him on the follow. But even when Chet...
the thing with OKC, man, the thing I just don't like with them is they just too small. I really feel like they just need a power forward or a big man, put Chet to the power forward. They could get both of them, really. You feel me? Just some people that can get some boards, some lengthy body people. Like, I really feel like they should get Larry Market. Larry Market is somebody I really believe they should get on my baby. Like, get Larry Market. Yeah, change the whole NBA.
Is there and appears to have him boxed out. He's able to tip the ball to himself before going back up and drawing a foul. And then we saw another crucial offensive rebound in Game 1 against the Wolves. Down 4 and needing a score, he grabs one in a packed paint, kicks it back out to Luka, and from there the scoring champ can play one-on-one as he steps back for a triple. All that's to say.
That's disgusting. Imagine you get hit with that.
The scoring champ can play one-on-one as he steps.
I gotta go back a little bit more.
Out to Luka, and from there the scoring champ can play
what made him
one-on-one
want to
as he steps
that?
back for a triple. All that's to say, while his role is simple and doesn't.
What was the score?
Back for a.
Bro, they're down by 5. No, by 4, and this boy hits a 3 that looks like that. This boy hits a 3 like that, bro. How would you feel?
Triple. All that's to say, while his role is simple and doesn't demand much, there are definitely ways for him to bring a big impact. You already have the crazy athleticism that allows him to run the floor, get above the rim, and finish with the trees as one of the tallest players in the NBA, and he pairs that with great instincts for when and where to